am Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
And the TV series on the review table today is the British series House of Guinness. House of Guinness is a 2025 British historical drama that immerses viewers in the legacy, ambition, and power struggles of the Guinness dynasty. Created and written by Stephen Knight, the visionary behind Peaky Blinders, the BBC's award-winning saga of an Irish Traveller and Romani gang clawing their way to power in 1919 Birmingham, the series carries the same fire that made Knight's storytelling unforgettable. Where Peaky Blinders bared the grit of the streets and the ruthless ambition of Tommy Shelby, House of Guinness raises the stakes to dynastic proportions, shifting its gaze from the underworld to the gilded halls of empire. Here, Knight trades razor blades sewn into caps for the intoxicating wealth of Ireland's most iconic brewing family, weaving a tale where fortune, influence, and survival collide. It is the same raw energy and moral complexity, but magnified, as the Guinness heirs grapple not only with betrayal and scandal within their own ranks, but also with the fate of a nation straining against the chains of English rule. Directed by Tom Shankland and Munya Akel, the drama boasts a stellar cast including Anthony Boyle, Lewis Partridge, Emily Fairn, Fionn O'Shea, David Wilmot, James Norton, and Jack Gleeson, among others. Premiering on Netflix on September 25, 2025. This series doesn't just tell history. It dramatizes the myth, scandal, and power that shaped a dynasty. House of Guinness opens in the shadow of loss, with the death of Benjamin Guinness, the towering patriarch whose iron will and ambition forged a brewing empire that stretched from Dublin to New York. His passing leaves not only an empire without its master, but also a family burdened with the weight of inheritance, expectation, and destiny. At the heart of the story are his 4 children: Arthur, Edward, Anne, and Benjamin Jr., each bound by blood, yet torn apart by secrets that could undo them all. As they struggle to preserve their father's legacy, they must also confront betrayal, forbidden passions, and scandals that lurk in the corridors of power. Their private sins threaten to spill into public ruin, placing the Guinness name and Ireland's fragile hope for liberation on a knife's edge. For the heirs, every decision is both curse and crown. To safeguard the dynasty may mean sacrificing themselves, but to falter could bring ruin not just upon their family, but upon the very dream of a nation straining to break free from England's grip. House of Guinness is not merely a tale of inheritance. It is a story of power, sacrifice, and the perilous cost of destiny. When Netflix handed Stephen Knight, the mind behind Peaky Blinders, the story of the Guinness dynasty, expectations were sky high, and House of Guinness doesn't disappoint. Set in Dublin 1868, the series transforms the brewing empire into a battlefield of wealth, power, and betrayal. What makes House of Guinness immediately striking is how Stephen Knight blends historical truth with carefully threaded fiction. Just as Peaky Blinders blurred the lines between fact and legend, Knight uses the Guinness dynasty as a canvas for a larger meditation on power, how it corrupts, how it binds, and how it destroys. The grandeur of 19th century Dublin is recreated in lavish detail. Towering brewery chimneys choking the skyline, cobblestone streets pulsing with unrest, and the constant presence of English authority looming over Irish identity. Yet the show is not a dry period piece. It bristles with modern energy, sharp dialogue, and a pulse that feels alive, even dangerous. James Norton's Sean Rafferty steals early attention as a schemer whose violence fuels the Empire's engine. But the real emotional core of the series lies with the Guinness children. Arthur, Edward, Anne, and Benjamin Jr. are heirs not just to fortune, but to a burden laced with scandal. Night turns their struggles into a portrait of privilege rotting from within. Arthur's recklessness, Edward's ambition, Anne's defiance, and Benjamin's self-doubt are as combustible as the city around them. Their secrets are not small family dramas. They are powder kegs that threaten to bring down both the dynasty and Ireland's fragile hopes for freedom. The show thrives in its tension between the personal and the political. It is at once a family tragedy and a national allegory. The Guinness heirs fighting to preserve their father's empire mirrors Ireland's own desperate fight to preserve its identity under England's rule. In this way, House of Guinness finds its closest kin not in Peaky Blinders, but in Succession and The Crown, marrying Shakespearean themes of betrayal, destiny, and downfall with the sharpness of modern prestige television. What emerges is a series that never lets its audience rest. It seduces with opulence, but quickly reminds us that behind every fortune lies violence. Behind every dynasty lies ruin. And behind every family lies a reckoning. If there is one place where House of Guinness soars highest, it is in the strength of its script. Stephen Knight has always had an ear for dialogue that cuts deep. And here, he crafts exchanges that carry the weight of history while still brimming with human fragility. Each episode feels meticulously written, balancing intimate with grand declarations, ensuring that the words never serve as filler, but as the lifeblood of the story. The dialogue reaches its peak in the final episode, when Arthur Guinness stands before his siblings and the people of Dublin in a political rally. His monologue is not just a speech, it is a reckoning, a moment where family legacy collides with national destiny. Look at us. We stand here, together, on the precipice of something great. All the battles we've fought, the betrayals we've endured, the schemes we've plotted, and the love we've lost. It all led us to this moment. We built an empire. Not just in brewing, but in brick and mortar, in lives improved, in dreams made real for our people. We are more than just a family name. We are a force. And today, we show the world what that truly means. We are not defined by the past, but by the future we forge, right here, right now, as one. It is a speech that encapsulates the spirit of the entire series. Legacy, betrayal, resilience, and the possibility of redemption. In true Knight fashion, it blurs the line between historical drama and myth-making, giving Arthur the cadence of a Shakespearean hero, while grounding him in the raw politics of 19th century Ireland. It's the kind of moment that transforms House of Guinness from a family saga into a generational epic. Another layer of brilliance in House of Guinness comes from its meticulous attention to authenticity. The use of the Irish accent and language throughout the series is not mere ornamentation. It grounds the story in its time and place, giving the drama a textured realism that resonates long after the credits roll. Every syllable, whether whispered in private or shouted in the chaos of a rally, carries the weight of culture, identity, and resistance. It is a choice that elevates the dialogue, making the viewer feel less like a spectator and more like a witness to history. Equally striking are the costumes and set design, which work in perfect harmony to replicate the atmosphere of late 19th century Dublin. From the grandeur of the Guinness estate to the soot-stained brewery floors, every detail feels lived in, researched, and precise. The tailored suits, sweeping gowns, and working-class attire are not just costumes. They are narrative tools, telling their own story about power, class, and aspiration. The streets look grimy, the factories oppressive, the parlors decadent. Nothing feels cheap or half-measured. It is here, perhaps, that the series draws an unintentional but unavoidable comparison. While House of Guinness demonstrates what happens when detailed research, world-class writing, and visual authenticity come together to create a masterpiece, one can't help but wish certain Nollywood productions were watching closely and taking notes. Because as this series proves, historical drama isn't just about putting actors in old clothes and pointing a camera at cobblestone streets. It's about crafting a world so immersive and convincing that even the smallest detail breathes with truth. The difference between good intentions and great execution is, as House of Guinness reminds us, everything. Of course, no amount of brilliant writing or lavish design would matter without performances capable of carrying the weight of this story. And here, House of Guinness delivers some of the finest acting on television this year. Irish actor Anthony Boyle is a revelation as Arthur Guinness. In lesser hands, Arthur could have been reduced to the archetype of a brooding heir. But Boyle brings him to life with a raw, layered vulnerability. His commanding presence during political rallies is matched by the quiet torment in private scenes, where Arthur grapples with the dual burdens of legacy and identity. It's a performance that feels lived in, magnetic, and destined to be remembered as a career-defining role. Then there is Lewis Partridge, stepping into the role of Edward Guinness. An English actor playing an Irish heir might have raised eyebrows, but Partridge silences all doubts with a performance steeped in conviction and nuance. His Edward is ambitious, calculating, yet deeply human, embodying the contradictions of a man torn between loyalty to his family and hunger for personal power. Partridge's ability to capture Edward's restless energy and charm makes him one of the standout figures in the ensemble, proving that authenticity in accent and spirit can transcend national boundaries when paired with true talent. And finally, Jack Gleeson, best known to millions as the unforgettable Joffrey Baratheon in Game of Thrones, returns to the screen as Brian Hedges, a figure who slithers through the Guinness orbit with menace and charisma. Gleeson's performance is nothing short of electrifying. Every scene he inhabits is thick with tension, reminding viewers of his gift for layered villainy. While Brian is not Joffrey, the echoes are unmistakable. The cruel smile, the sudden bursts of fury, the unnerving unpredictability. Gleeson proves once again that he is an actor who thrives in complexity, and his return is one of the series' most satisfying surprises. In House of Guinness, the performances don't just serve the story, they elevate it, ensuring that the weight of history is matched by the weight of humanity. Beyond the standouts, the rest of the ensemble shines with equal brilliance. Emily Fairn, Finn O'Shea, David Wilmot, James Norton, and the wider supporting cast all deliver performances of remarkable conviction, each inhabiting their roles with an authenticity that leaves no weak link in the chain. No actor falters, no role feels underplayed. Instead, every performance compels, commanding attention and weaving seamlessly into the grand tapestry of the series. In summary, House of Guinness is prestige television at its finest, a masterclass in writing, performance, and design. From its opening moments in 19th century Dublin to its thunderous finale, it grips the viewer with a narrative as intoxicating as the stout that built the dynasty. Each of its 8 episodes is layered with tension, betrayal, and poetic dialogue, drawing you in so completely that you scarcely notice how swiftly the story carries you to its end. By the time the credits roll on the final episode, the spell is complete, leaving audiences both satisfied and yearning for more. And so, with the triumphant close of its first season, fans will not simply be waiting, but longing, hearts tethered in anticipation for Season 2. For in the words of the bard himself, What's past is prologue. The future waits with sharpened edge. House of Guinness does not merely tell a story. It ignites a legacy, and its return will be awaited with the fervor of destiny. And now for my rating. House of Guinness scores an outstanding 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on TikTok, WhatsApp channel, and Instagram at Domino's Cinephile for more movie and TV series reviews. Domino Cinephile,